I'm full of questions. How did you get started down this? Did you start watching YouTube videos and that kind of caught your eye and sparked that interest, or it was just through starting with that loan against yourself and you were like, "Oh, this okay, there's something else going on here. I got to dig a little deeper."
I think one of the first things was reading a book that really changed my whole mindset.
I think I know what book you're going to
Rich
say.
Dad, Poor
Yep.
Dad.
I've got to read that. It's on my list. I just got to get to it.
It was the most influential book that I've ever read, I think. And I have an extra copy if you want one in
Yes.
my
Oh
truck.
my
I
God,
can give.
yes.
Okay, my dog kind of chewed up the corners,
It's okay.
but it's still all there.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's such a good book. I reread it all the time now, too, just to keep myself on track because there's like the book is essentially about this guy who has a rich dad and a poor dad to compare to. And one of them is highly educated, and the other one is dropped out of high school, I think, and he became a successful entrepreneur. And it's just like the two different routes that you can take, and how one of them became super successful through entrepreneurship. And then that kind of changes your whole mindset because when you grow up, you're told go to college and get a degree and then get a W-2 job. And this book kind of completely shatters that idea, which is why I recommend reading.
I think changing that mindset is important because people, we're almost bred to believe now that you have to go to college, then you
Mm-hmm.
have to get this corporate job, and that's your career, and you got to dedicate 40 years of your life to that career, and then you can retire, and then you can enjoy life,
Yeah.
which is great. I mean, if that's what you want, if you want to go down that path, I think
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to life,
Yeah.
and that's not a prerequisite to being successful. I think
Right.
people don't really get that yet. I think
Mm-hmm.
more are waking up to it because they
Yeah.
don't want to go down the corporate path.
Well, one of the biggest lies that we tell people is that they are nothing without a degree,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that is one of the biggest lies because what it does is it makes people feel worthless if they don't have a degree, and it puts them in debt to the government at the same time. And I'm not saying that everyone who's going to college is making a mistake. I think for a lot of people who want to become doctors or already have a path to success after they graduate of what they're going to do with their degree, I think that is amazing. I encourage that. If there's a return on the investment side of it, if you know that you're going to get a return, then that's great. But if you don't know if you're going to get that return, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Like
If you want
that's
to be
the
an art major,
whole
maybe
I mean
hold up.
it just depends on what are you going to do with that degree. Are you sure that it's going to pay off in the end? Because there's good debt and there's bad debt. And if it's not going to make you more money in the end, then you might want to rethink taking out that loan or find a different route to at least, like, let's say you really want to go to college to study art or something. And you have limited choices. Like you could get financial aid, you could get a scholarship. Um, and if you don't apply for those, I mean, you could always join the military. There's other ways, I guess you could do it, or you could decide, okay, maybe not take out a student loan, wait until I'm 24 so that I can claim as an independent and then take out a smaller loan because I'll be able to qualify for more financial aid. There's like all these
I didn't
different
even know that
factors.
was a thing.
Yeah, like if you are 24 and you can claim as an independent at that point. I don't know why it's 24 because it should be
They just
18,
picked that.
right?
Yeah, right?
But yeah, if you're 24, you can claim as an independent. And if you've been living as a broke college student, you don't have any money. So you can qualify for more financial aid. If you come from a middle class or upper class family, you probably won't qualify for financial aid. So yeah, good things to know. There's a lot of research and a lot of things that people don't teach you
They just
about
don't talk about it.
finance. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it costs people thousands of dollars.
at least.
Yeah.
That's a low estimate. I mean, think of how many kids go to college, take out these massive loans, and then don't end up ever using that degree because they don't like it. And now you
Exactly.
just have this piece of paper and $40,000 in debt that isn't good debt, and it's not debt you can get out of. I mean,
Exactly. That's
that
why
will follow you forever.
yes, student loan debt is one of the worst types of debt because you cannot declare bankruptcy, unlike if you're a business owner, you can. It does. It hangs around the neck for the rest of your life. And if we just look at the statistics demographically between boomers, millennials, and I think it's Gen X in between, right? I wrote
Is
down
this, yeah, you
somewhere these
you posted
statistics.
something on Facebook that was like millennials only own like 4% of the wealth or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's true. So,
Which, how great, like,
I mean,
what?
they're the most educated demographically out of all of these different, you know, boomers, Gen X, Gen Z. Millennials are the most educated statistically,
And the poorest.
and they're the poorest. And I mean, it's really too bad because I mean, 4% of all of the wealth is owned by millennials. And we have some millennials now that are 40 years old. At the same age, Gen Z had about 9% and boomers had about 21%.
How crazy is that?
Right. I know, it's really sad.
I mean, when you put it like that, that really breaks the fallacy of, oh, the more education you
Yeah.
have, the more wealth you're going to
Yeah.
accumulate. Like, it's just
It
not
really
true.
does. Yeah. It really puts it into perspective. And then the other thing is how much debt we've got in student loan debt as a whole. I think, let me see here. $1.4 trillion in
Oh
debt.
my God.
So a lot of people are stuck in that student debt because it's the worst kind. You can't get out of it if you don't have a solid plan as to what you're going to do after college to make that money and then pay it back. You're screwed.
Yeah.
And
And
the
if
other,
all you're doing is working a minimum wage job,
yeah.
paying the minimum payment, you're going to be lucky if you're 60 and finally have it paid off.
Right. Yeah, it's really too bad. I mean, really put an emphasis on, you know, why you're going to college, what your plan is. Take that option or that choice so seriously because it could be one of the biggest choices you have to make in your life because you could be in debt the rest of your life because of it. If you
It's
if
a
you make the
racket.
wrong move. Yeah.
It's a racket. I
I
mean,
mean,
we're taking these kids, they're fresh out of high school, that don't know up from down, and we're
yeah.
going to let them
I
sign
know.
away their life.
Isn't that just wrong though?
It
That
feels wrong.
it's so
It feels wrong.
easy to take out a student loan. So easy because it's the government is backing it. But then if you want to go and take out a loan to start a business, invest,
Oh,
it's
good luck.
hard.
Yeah.
You have to jump through so many hoops. Why is that?
It's crazy. I mean, what, we wouldn't let 18-year-olds go and take out a house loan.
Yeah.
The good luck finding a bank that, especially if you don't have a cosigner,
Yeah.
good luck.
It's hard.
But
I
you can
mean,
take out a $40,000
yeah.
school loan.
Yeah, it's
Sign right here.
Yeah.
We've got you covered.
And it's weird that, you know, that they don't even check what you're studying or they don't look at any kind
They
of
don't
plan
care.
you have. They don't care.
Mm-mm.
And so a lot of people end up getting screwed. And I mean, I feel really bad for them because I don't want people to end up in that situation. So, yeah, I think finances needs to be discussed more in high school before people go to college. Because they don't teach us in college either. I went to 3 years of college. And I didn't get my degree because I didn't want to take out a student loan. I got scholarships to go. I don't have any student debt, thankfully. But I mean, I definitely didn't use the things that I learned from college. No.
Yeah. And that's the unfortunate thing, is that is really more common, I think, than not.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's anything you get out of college, it's more just the experience of
Yeah, it was
being
an
around people
experience.
your age. Like, that's,
Yeah.
which is great. I mean, if you can go down that path and not take out loans and you want to just kill 4 years and have fun, that's fantastic. But
It's kind of like training wheels for adulthood.
yeah,
'Cause
except you don't. It's not even real adulthood. It's like childhood 2.0.
It is, because I mean, imagine people who took out a loan to cover their housing, their schooling, and most of their food. They don't have to learn how to budget, pay bills yet because you don't have to pay back the loan until after you're done with college. So really, you graduate college without an understanding of financial literacy, and if you don't have a plan as to how you're going to make money after college, and that doesn't sort out, then you're
screwed.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really sorry. But yeah, that's why I wish I could just reach out to high school students beforehand. Because there's a lot of people that study things in school that are kind of, well, very risky. Certain subjects. How are you going to make the money back studying certain things?